Regularly seen on stage without wearing something from Yee Yee Apparel. My guest today, Chris Colston. How are you, man?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. Thanks for being on. You remember the first thing you got from Yee Yee Apparel?
Man.
It was a hat, t-shirt.
I think it probably was a hat or a t-shirt, but I think it was actually when they had the camo hoodie / like lounge shorts, matching shorts, and they sent those to me, and I did a photo shoot in them.
Oh, that's cool.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took off from there, man. Started getting stuff all the time, and I started wearing it. I actually love like how it feels. Like I'm really picky about stuff, but on my body. But man, it just took off from there. Love it.
Same. And this is not an ad for our brother. I was going to say sister company, but our brother company. But it is, and they've become so custom that it keeps getting better and better. Jackets, shirts, all the stuff. Maybe we will turn this to an ad. I'll send Parker an invoice later today.
There you go.
See if he'll pay that. Where'd you grow up?
Man, I grew up in an old town called Lindale, Texas, just north of Tyler.
Okay.
And it was a great place to grow up. Great little small town. Same hometown as Miranda Lambert, for those who don't know where it's at. So.
Oh, what is the name of it again?
Lindale. Lindale. Yeah.
Lindale. Is what she wrote, Everybody Dies Famous in a Small Town? Is it the city she's
That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's kind of funny. I've been listening to that record, a lot lately, and I'm thinking she says something about the Turner Town Gazette and that song, which is not far from where we're from. So I guess she had beer lease growing up. Maybe one day I'll get to ask her about it.
Heck yeah, that'd be fun. We've actually entertained moving up close to Tyler. I mean, we live in Austin right now, and it's getting so crazy and so big. We just want land and don't want to pay $100,000 an acre for it.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like that's everything nowadays. But yeah, come on, we got plenty of room.
What kind of trouble did you guys get into there in East Texas?
Growing up, man, to be honest with you, and up here in East Texas, there's not a whole lot to do, so it was easier to get into trouble. Man, to be honest, a lot of our stuff was harmless. I mean, we drive around, back roads late at night, and probably crack open some beers. Like it sounds kind of cliche, but really that's what we did. Like there wasn't a whole lot to do. We'd go over, hang out at friends' houses, have bonfires and stuff like that. If it got late, I'm not going to deny or confirm that we may not have, shot animals from the road on properties or fished in someone's pond that we knew had big fish in it at night, and they probably wouldn't appreciate us going in there during the day. But, just stuff like that. It was harmless. We didn't do a whole lot of outlaw stuff, but we had fun.
Who'd you grow up listening to?
Man, to be honest, when I was in high school, I remember it was 2012 when JB and the Moonshine Band came out with their Beer for Breakfast album. So a lot of Texas, I got introduced to Texas and Red Dirt stuff when I was in high school. So I listened to JB. Never forget when shortly, I guess it was before that it was Firewater by Whiskey Myers came out.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of Red Dirt influence and stuff, but I listened to pretty much everything. My stepdad was a huge classic rock guy. So we always, like, riding in the truck, we listened to any classic rock song, Leonard Skinner, Hank Jr. I was influenced by a ton of stuff. So thankful in that area for sure.
That's funny. Did you say Junior, Hank Jr.? Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that you kind of, or at least talked about it in the classic rock realm. You say that, and I don't even know if you meant to, but my dad was a country singer. He was old school Ernest Tubb, and nice. But he always viewed Hank Jr. and Alabama as rock.
Right. That's funny. Yeah.
And now it couldn't be more country.
Right. And that's exactly like my dad, and I call it's either classic rock or outlaw country. Like it's either one of those two things. And I was a fan of all that sound, that attitude, and that perspective on country music with a little more rock edge.
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool.
Who would you say you've taken the most away from in your career now?
I would probably say Towards the end of high school is when I found Blackberry Smoke.
Oh yeah.
And so Blackberry Smoke's
That's cool.
my hands down favorite band of all time. I've got their lyrics on my arm.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can see it. So it's the lyrics from Leave a Scar. So it says, all I leave behind me is a ragged old guitar. I may not change the world, but I'm going to leave a scar.
Oh, dude, that's nice.
Yeah, so Blackberry Smoke, man, I remember finding them on the TV, on Access TV channel when I was in high school, and my stepdad going, you have got to listen to this band. So I sat down and watched them on TV, and I was like, these guys are like a modern, like, Skinner. Like, yeah. I can't believe what's going on right now. So I just fell in love with them, man, and their 2012, or no, it was 2010, I think, it was the Whippoorwill album when it came out, and I just loved every song off of it. So I would probably say those guys have probably been the most influence on me.
That's cool. Who does all your art? Your tattoo art?
Is a guy named, his name is Lynn Salas. He has a tattoo shop in Abilene, Texas. I met him on the road when I was touring with my buddy Co Wetzel. We did a lot of shows together, and Co got a lot of tattoos, has a lot of work done. And so we'd be on the road and he'd just be tattooing everybody before the show, like in the green room or something. I'm like, hey man, I want this. And he'd draw something up and he would kill it. You know, I mean, he's done pretty much all of my work on the inside. I've got a big piece here and then a big piece on my chest. I just can't get enough of tattoos, man.
What was your first one?
My very first one was this one. I had to stand up. Was this guitar.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's a 1951 Epiphone. It was before Gibson owned them. So it was the first guitar that I ever. My stepdad actually helped me get it when I graduated high school because he knew I was going to start playing music, full time and taking it serious. So he's like, "Well, let's go spend some money and save up your money and get something good." So that's what I did.
Dude, that's awesome. How's touring life been for you?
Touring's been good. I mean, obviously for the little COVID year everybody had, it kind of slowed everybody down, but things are finally towards the end of this year started picking back up and we're back to 2 or 3 a weekend. We've been all over the Midwest and the East Coast and obviously we tour a lot still in Texas. So
sure.
It's been really good. I'm thankful that we're back on the road, back to making money and back to doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Heck yeah. And guys in your band can relax on the insurance sales.
Exactly. Yes. So many more like hanging sheetrock jobs. Or something.
Exactly. I saw you and Dylan Marlowe. You guys did some stuff up in Oklahoma, but you also had some time to go fishing. Are you finding time to get to do some of the fun stuff that you want to do while you're hitting the road? Maybe hit some places you thought about or dreamed of. Yeah, absolutely. I always make time, no matter what, for hunting and fishing because sure,
that's my second love. So, we've had some good time. Like that show, the venue owner just happened to have a stocked pond behind the venue, so we were like, "You got any fishing poles?" He's like, "Yeah." So we just went up and just tore them up before the show. So it's nice to be able to get to find some time to do some stuff like that in between, like the grind of playing music.
What you didn't know is that you were fishing for your catering that night. So.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no joke. They had to cross that off on the list before we got there, so we had to get there starving.
That's fun. How did you meet Dylan?
Man, it's kind of funny. Like, I guess it was over a year ago, just on Instagram. He DM'd me one day, sent me a message, and was like, "Hey, man," he was like, "If you're ever in town, we need to write sometime, write song." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Followed him back on Instagram, whatever. I was like, that's kind of cool. And then it wasn't until months later I had got my first publishing deal in Nashville. So I was like, they're basically going to stick you in a bunch of rooms at first, with people that you may or may not know. I'm like, well, hey, there's this dude I just met. I found out he had a publishing deal. So looks like he likes to hunt and fish. I'm sure we'll get along. So we got in a room together and wrote some killer songs and just kind of built, friendship that way. It was pretty neat.
We have been playing Some Hearts Break Easy on Yee Yee Radio. Who'd you write this song with?
Man, I actually didn't write that song. That was a song. No, that was a song that was pitched to me. Jordan Walker was a writer on that. I actually, I cut a lot of songs that Jordan pitches. If I'm not a writer on it, I'm usually looking for something that he's got. And that's so, cool. He sent it to me, man. I just loved it so much. I was like, man, this is so relatable. great song. And he was really, really happy that I cut it because they had written it, and it kind of does like a lot of songs in Nashville. Like people write these great songs and sometimes they never get to see the light of day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm the guy, if you got any good ones, let me know.
Shoot them my way.
I'll sing them. No problem. I have no problem doing that.
What is writing like for you? Is it a daily job? Do you have to be inspired? What's it look like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's tough. It's not easy to get up every morning and write a song. There's people, I still live in Texas and there's people in Nashville. Obviously they get up and they do it every single day. I'm fortunate enough where I don't have to do it every single day. I do it about, for a week span, every other week I go to Nashville. So I like that because it doesn't cloud my brain and I'm not pressured to think about something 24/7. So, but it is tough. But when an idea pops into your head, it's hard to get off of it. And that makes for a great song every time.
Not living there and still getting to live where you want to live in Texas, where you grew up, probably also allows you to stay authentic, I would think.
It does. Yeah. And that's another thing, I always worried about if I moved up there that I would get too caught up in just like working every single day. You know what I mean? And
it's easy to.
And, it may come to one day where I have to go up there just, being whatever situation I'm in. But for right now, it's good because when I go up there, I can focus on work. Okay, I'm working for this week. When I come home, okay, I can hunt, I can fish, and then I can focus on touring wherever we're going to be at that weekend. So it kind of separates them, and it's a really good balance right now.
Do you go to Nashville to record? You do that at home? I
do, yeah. I record, 99% of my stuff in Nashville right now. The players are so good, the studios are so good.
That's true.
It makes for a pretty dang good experience.
I read that you started out on drums. Do you still play at all?
I play every once in a while, man. I started playing drums when I was 7. Yeah. I started playing when I was 7. Loved it. Was in drumline in high school. And when I got out of high school, I was like, man, I don't want to play drums anymore. I want to try something else, because I felt like that was kind of the end of its course. Like at that time, out of high school, I wasn't going to play drums for anybody in a band. I wasn't thinking that way. I was just thinking, man, I loved it up until that point. Then I started playing guitar, started kind of singing a little bit. And I was like, maybe I should just try something different. So I need to still play. I've pretty much lost everything.
Have you?
All my touch. That drums is something weird, man. If you practice for years, and I did it my whole life, shoot, you stop for 6 months, stuff starts to go away. It's crazy.
Yeah, I played my entire life, and I quit about 10 years ago. Just life got busy, and just started playing at church again. And it's weird. I like when they send me some stuff to learn for that weekend. I go in 2 or 3 times when everybody's left and not working, and sit down for about an hour and a half, and go through it all. So this is rusty. It's rusty.
Oh, it's frustrating. Yeah, because you're sitting there and like you say, like you're playing and your mind's telling you, okay, 10 years ago I could easily do this. Why can't I get my hands and feet to do that anymore? For me, that's how it was anyway.
That's totally how it is for me.
Then I was just like, you know what? Forget this. I'm sticking to guitar.
What doors would you say have opened for you thanks to music that maybe otherwise wouldn't have?
Man, a ton of doors. I mean, I can't. The relationships mainly with people that I would have never dreamed of even having a conversation with. I mean, like, just a couple of names like. I got to meet and hang out and be friends with Casey Donahue, who was a big Texas guy, and Randy Rogers, and just people like that you grow up listening to and you idolize. And then those are the people that kind of help influence you to help you take the next further step in your career. And 5 years before that, you were standing there front row watching them at a concert somewhere in Texas. So there's been a lot of really cool doors for me. Even with the Yee guys and everything, just like they sending me a hat and tagging them, and constantly tagging them. And that's how I felt like, shout out. Like, if you're going to do that for me, I'm going to tag you in it and hopefully, get you guys some sort of business or however it works. I don't know, and then it just builds a relationship with like Hayden over at Yee, and then getting to go and tour the facility, and then just kind of them always kind of supporting me and them reposting it's kind of like a scratch your back I scratch yours, you scratch mine, and I feel like that's what the music industry should always be like. It's just like helping people out.
Yeah, well, sure. You got a visitor.
I do.
He's letting you know.
Let me let my dog out. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're good. You're good. Go.
I got 2 of them. I got to let one out and then let another one in. Come here, Bo. Go. Let's go, buddy. I'm sorry. Sorry, I've got a black lab and I got a little my wife's little lap dog, and they can't be outside at the same time because the one's so much bigger than the other one. He'll just trample her. So she'll bark again in a minute, and I'll let her in. So I apologize.
That's what we have. We have a Yorkie. We have a small little dog, and then we have a GSP. And the GSP thinks he's the same size as the Yorkie, and wants to play, and he'll demolish him.
Oh yeah, Bo is my lab. He's a lab pit bull mix, and he comes in the house. It's just 100 miles an hour, and just tramples her. So it's life
in our place too. Exactly. Well, dude, we're excited about Some Hearts Break Easy. Love playing it on Yee Yee Radio, getting a lot of great feedback. If you haven't heard it yet, check out Yee Yee Radio, or just go download it. Go stream it to your favorite place, and keep listening. And I can't wait to play some more stuff from Chris Colston. Thanks for being on with us today, bud. Good to see you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. This is great.